Builder's First Source, our neighbor right there, they just updated their showroom, and as far as I know, they might be one of two showrooms now left in Columbus. There's I call it the Carpet Mill, I think like Flooring One over there on River Road, but Flooring America at Columbus Park, Flooring. Okay, I went in there 2 weeks ago. It's really nice. And tomorrow from 12 to 2, if you can see that, they're serving lunch. They actually do installation as well. So not just purchasing product, but they do some installation. So if you needed some floors or cabinets or countertops, talk to them. They can do it all. But that's our neighbor. It's good to always know vendors too. We're going to get started today. And I always like this quote from George Carlin. It said, I went to the bookstore and asked the salesperson, where's the self-help section? She said, if she told me, it would defeat the purpose. So today we're talking a little bit about self-help. I'm not going to leave you on your own. But I picked up a couple of things from this book that Mary Varner made fun of me for giving to Jen called Make Your Own Bed. Did you read it yet, Jen? I have not. Okay, we won't put you on the spot. But the title of today's presentation is There's No Real Excuse. And I'm pulling some principles from Make Your Own Bed, this book, which I read, who was written by Admiral William McRaven. And he spent 37 years in the Navy as a Navy SEAL. And at the end of his career, he was the commander for all of the U.S. Special Operation Forces. In the book, it talks about how he visited Saddam Hussein in the cell every day after they captured him. So we didn't know much about him until May of 2014 when he addressed the graduating class at University of Texas with his speech, Make Your Own Bed. So it's hard to think that someone put something on YouTube like 4 years ago. Like 4 years ago, he probably has over 20 million views now, but that's when he gained notoriety for these 10 principles that he covered. I'm not going to read the whole speech. The whole speech is actually in the back of this book, or it's on YouTube if you want to watch it. But the 10 principles he learned during Navy SEALs training, that helped him overcome challenges in his training, in his life, and as we're going to talk about today, he feels that those can be applied by anyone. We're not sending you out to the swamp or the ocean or to SEAL training. We're just sending you out to real estate today. So please keep that in mind when we're running through some of these. And the question we're talking about is, how can we overcome excuses? Because you're in real estate, and I know y'all hear a lot from other agents, from clients. What's an excuse somebody heard last week or this weekend? The buyers won't take your advice. The seller's unreasonable. What are some excuses you've heard why you can't get a deal together? Not realistic. The lender lied to me. Right.
Not the buyer.
Right. No. Yeah. So excuses why the clients don't hire us. So we're going to dig into that a little bit. And principle one, we're not going to cover all 10 principles, but obviously principle one is start your day with a task completed. And Admiral McRaven says, if you want to change the world, start off by making your own bed. Now, I'm not going to pretend I know much about the military, especially with some of y'all in the room, but from what I've read, that's the first thing you have to do when you get up, right? Make your bed. Pretty simple task, unless you don't do it right, and then you don't have to tell me what happens if you don't make up your bed. But the point is, start your day with a simple task that you complete, whatever it is. that because at the end of the day, that simple task might just be a reminder that you did something well, something that you're proud of, no matter how small the task. Because in real estate, as soon as you leave your house and you get to the office and you start talking to clients and other agents, you sometimes don't have control of what all is going to happen. And you can't control what the other side is going to do. And real estate requires daily motivation all the time. Things are always changing. And so it's nice to know that in the day, there's at least one thing you did complete, because there may be a day that you didn't get anything done that you thought you were supposed to. And life is not fair. And guess what? Neither is real estate. I hope y'all didn't think real estate was fair, because it should be. But the fact is, it's not. You do all the things you're supposed to do. You write the offer. You present it. Full price. No closing costs. For some reason, the seller still doesn't accept it, or someone presents a better offer. In the book, they tell the story about the sugar cookie. Does anybody know what a sugar cookie is? Not the one you eat, but what's you're nodding your head, Steve. What's a sugar cookie? Okay. Well, in Navy SEAL training, a sugar cookie is when you're sent out to the ocean in your full garments. You have to submerge yourself in water, and then you come back on the beach and you roll around in sand until you're covered in sand head to toe, and then get on your knees and throw sand up in the air just to make sure you're covered completely so that you look like a sugar cookie. And they would send you out to be a sugar cookie when you didn't do something correctly. Maybe you didn't make your bed up. Maybe you didn't assemble your weapon. Whatever it is, they sent you out to be a sugar cookie. But the instructors were the ones who always decided who was going to be a sugar cookie that day. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. You became a sugar cookie at the whim of the instructor. And they taught the SEALs that because they could learn that life is just not fair. And that sometimes you're just a sugar cookie for no reason at all except the fact that someone wants you to be a sugar cookie. And so a lot of times agents make up excuses why they won't be successful. We've heard a lot of reasons. You may not be from here. You didn't go to school here. You don't know enough people that want to buy or sell real estate. And maybe you weren't raised in Columbus, Georgia, where we all do things completely backwards here from anywhere else in the rest of the United States. But none of these excuses really determine your future, because there are common people and great men and women all around the world who have all been defined by how they deal with unfairness, because things are just sometimes unfair. I love this principle. Never ever quit. And I added this slogan: quitting won't get you to the closing table. Quitting does not make things easier. I think when children are young, you have the greatest chance to help them learn life lessons before they realize what it is they're learning. And hopefully, when they grow up, they'll build on that. My children, and I like to use the twins because a boy and girl will most oftentimes give you a completely different answer. And so we have two sayings in the house. When they're struggling with something they can't, they're doing a game or they're coloring or we're playing outside, they get frustrated and they want to quit. And I'll look at both of them and I'll say, well, Rennie, what do Bickerstaffs do? Never give up. And Charlotte will say, never quit, never quit. And I'm convinced Charlotte Bickerstaff is not going to quit doing anything ever. She's not a quitter. But it's so easy to share those lessons with children. When we become adults, there are so many other factors that come into the equation. You have to remember, someone's always got it worse than you do. And real estate is going to always be difficult if you fill your days with blame and pity. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be challenging if you blame others for lack of business or whatever you think is missing. Because most of y'all, at least I know when we got into business, and every one of you that said you got into the business is because you wanted to make the most of it. You wanted to become the best at doing something that you felt like you were meant to do. And you're going to have a bad day. You're going to have a bad week. Sometimes you're going to have a bad month. Sometimes you're going to have a bad year. I've had all of those. And they come and go. But quitting is only going to leave you with regret. The regret of just not trying a little bit harder, because things do get tough. We're in a good market right now. And as Alan just shared with you those stats, I think I only heard one number that went down, and that was maybe average sales price. So things are going to start turning. Houses may take a little longer to sell. The market might be a little more challenging, but that doesn't mean you need to blame the market on your results. This business is seasonal for only people that are seasonal sales agents. Some of y'all have the best fourth quarter when other people sit back and think, real estate's just slow from Halloween until, first week of January, so I'm just not going to do anything about it. Well, then why are some people having their best quarter yet? They give up. They quit. They don't try. They blame the market. So I want to leave you with this. Admiral McRaven said it the best, so I'm not going to make something up. I'm just going to read what he said. Remember, start each day with the task completed. Find someone to help you through life. Respect everyone. Know that life is not fair and that you will fail often. But if you take some risk, step up when times are toughest, face down the bullies, lift up the downtrodden, and never, ever give up. If you do these things, then you will change your life for the better and maybe the world. Jim Rohn said, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And none of us are immune from life's tragic moments or when business takes a turn. But for those of you that are looking to change, and for things to change for you, then you must change. If you need to take time to read the books, develop some skills, sometimes you need to burn the midnight oil to catch up, to get ahead, do those things. You don't have to do them all the time. You'll burn out. But if there are things you need to do that will help you change, if you commit to making the fourth quarter your best quarter yet, you'll be set up to have the best year yet in 2019. And we believe that every one of you can do that. And thank you for spending time with us today.